destroy doubt forever, you must first master the power of self-belief. Doubt is the greatest enemy of action, and it is the root of hesitation and failure. Machiavelli understood that the most successful individuals are those who have unshakable belief in themselves. When you believe in your own power, doubt cannot take root. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you cultivate, and with the right psychological strategies, you can make it unbreakable. The first rule is that doubt is the product of uncertainty, and uncertainty comes from a lack of clarity. When you lack clarity in your goals, your decisions, and your purpose, doubt creeps in. The untouchable person eliminates doubt by establishing absolute clarity in their vision. They know exactly what they want, why they want it, and what steps they need to take to achieve it. When you know your purpose with certainty, doubt cannot cloud your mind because your actions are aligned with your goals. The second brutal truth is that doubt thrives on indecision. When you hesitate, when you constantly question your choices, you give doubt room to grow. The untouchable person acts decisively. They don't waste time wondering if they're making the right choice. They make decisions quickly and move forward with confidence. Indecision weakens you, but decisiveness strengthens you. The more you act decisively, the less room there is for doubt to exist. The third rule is that you must train your mind to reject doubt immediately. The moment doubt enters your mind, you must confront it. Do not entertain it. The untouchable person understands that doubt is a thought, not a fact, and thoughts can be controlled. When doubt arises, you must force your mind to replace it with certainty. This requires mental discipline, but with practice, you can make this a reflex, where doubt is instantly rejected and replaced with a clear sense of confidence and purpose. 3. Fourth brutal truth is that confidence is built through action, not just thoughts. You cannot simply think your way into confidence. The untouchable person builds confidence by consistently taking action, even when they feel uncertain. With each step forward, even small ones, doubt diminishes. Action builds momentum, and that momentum builds self-belief. The more you act, the more your doubt fades away, because each success proves that you are capable. The fifth rule is that you must control your inner dialogue. What you tell yourself shapes your reality. The untouchable person never speaks doubt into existence. Instead, they constantly affirm their abilities, their vision, and their strength. You must speak to yourself as though you are already the person you wish to become. This constant affirmation builds your mental fortitude, and over time, doubt becomes a distant memory. The sixth brutal truth is that doubt is a reflection of fear, and fear can only control you if you allow it. The untouchable person does not let fear dictate their actions. Instead, they confront it head-on, using it as fuel to move forward. Fear is natural, but when you understand that it is a product of uncertainty, you can dismiss it as irrelevant. Doubt is rooted in fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown. To destroy doubt, you must embrace fear and use it to propel you toward your goals. The seventh rule is that you must associate your success with certainty, not chance. The untouchable person knows that they are in control of their own destiny. They do not believe in luck. They believe in effort, strategy, and execution. When you associate your success with your actions, not external factors, you destroy the idea that success is a matter of chance. This certainty in your abilities eradicates doubt because you understand that you are the master of your outcomes. The eighth brutal truth is that doubt is perpetuated by comparisons to others. The untouchable person understands that comparison is the thief of confidence. When you measure your worth against others, you invite doubt into your mind. Instead of comparing yourself to others, you must compare yourself to your own past, measuring your progress and growth. By focusing on your own journey and the strides you've made, you stop doubting your ability to achieve what you set out to do. The ninth rule is that your belief in yourself is contagious. When you truly believe in your own power, others will naturally believe in you too. The untouchable person exudes confidence, and this confidence draws others to them. Doubt disappears when you project unwavering belief in yourself because others will start to see you as a leader, someone who is capable and unstoppable. The more you believe in yourself, the more others will believe in you as well. The 10th brutal truth is that you must cultivate resilience to destroy doubt forever. Doubt often arises when you face setbacks or failures. But the untouchable person knows that failure is not a reflection of their ability. It is a lesson in disguise. Resilience is the ability to bounce back stronger from failure. When you develop this mental toughness, doubt loses its grip because you understand that every setback is a stepping stone, not an obstacle. By developing resilience, you learn that you are invincible, and doubt cannot shake you. Number 2, the mastery of fear and turning it into power to truly destroy doubt forever. You must first learn to master your fear. Fear is the root cause of doubt. It is what keeps you from acting with confidence and clarity. Machiavelli understood that the most powerful individuals are those who can turn fear into their ally, rather than their enemy. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, but it can be transformed into a tool of power when you learn to control it. By controlling fear, you destroy doubt because you no longer hesitate to act, no matter the circumstances. The first rule is that fear is a reaction, but courage is a choice. Fear will always be present when you step into the unknown. However, courage is the ability to act despite fear. The untouchable person understands that fear is not a signal to stop, but an indication that they are on the verge of growth. Instead of letting fear dictate their actions, they embrace it as a natural part of the process. When you choose to move forward despite your fear, you break the cycle of doubt and reinforce your ability to handle whatever challenges come your way. The second brutal truth is that fear feeds on uncertainty, and doubt thrives in environments of uncertainty. To destroy doubt, you must eliminate uncertainty. The untouchable person is always prepared. They don't leave their success to chance. They make sure they understand every aspect of the situation and have a plan to deal with any obstacles. When you prepare thoroughly, you destroy the uncertainty that fuels doubt, and you replace it with a clear sense of confidence. Fear diminishes when you feel in control. The third rule is that you must confront your fears head-on. Fear thrives when it is allowed to fester in the shadows. The untouchable person understands that the only way to rid yourself of fear is to face it directly. Instead of avoiding situations that make you anxious, you lean into them, slowly desensitizing yourself to the discomfort. By doing this, you not only eliminate fear but also prove to yourself that you can handle anything that comes your way, thus destroying doubt. The fourth brutal truth is that the untouchable person never allows fear to control their decisions. Fear often causes you to second-guess yourself, leading to hesitation and inaction. The untouchable person takes immediate action, even when they are afraid, because they know that inaction only fuels doubt. When you act despite your fear, you build confidence in your ability to handle future situations, making fear less powerful. With each victory, action in the face of fear is the antidote to doubt. The fifth rule is that you must reframe your thoughts about fear. Most people view fear as something to avoid, but the untouchable person sees fear as an opportunity for growth. They understand that fear is not something to be feared. It is a signal that you are pushing your boundaries and evolving. By reframing fear as a positive force, you stop seeing it as a barrier and start seeing it as the path to greater strength, resilience, and self-mastery. When you change your perspective on fear, it loses its power over you, and doubt fades away. The sixth brutal truth is that embracing discomfort destroys doubt. Fear and doubt are often rooted in the desire for comfort. The untouchable person embraces discomfort because they understand that growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. By intentionally seeking discomfort, you build the mental and emotional toughness needed to handle any challenge that comes your way. Every time you face discomfort and push through it, you reinforce your ability to succeed, and doubt begins to fade. The seventh rule is that visualization is a powerful tool to destroy fear. Fear often arises from imagining worst-case scenarios, which only feeds doubt. The untouchable person practices visualization, where they imagine themselves succeeding in the face of fear, overcoming obstacles, and achieving their goals. By repeatedly visualizing success, You reprogram your mind to associate fear with victory rather than failure. This shifts your mindset and eliminates the doubt that comes with fear. The eighth brutal truth is that fear loses its power when you embrace it and take action. The more you avoid something out of fear, the more control it has over you. The untouchable person never avoids fear. They lean into it and use it to fuel their actions. Each time you act despite fear, you diminish its power and increase your belief in your own abilities. Taking action makes fear powerless and turns you into a force that is untouchable and unstoppable. The ninth rule is that fear is often based on imagined scenarios. The untouchable person knows that most of the things we fear never happen. Fear is the result of imagining negative outcomes, most of which are highly unlikely. By reminding yourself that fear is often irrational, you stop letting it control your actions. When you challenge the assumptions that fuel your fear, you gain control over it, and your confidence grows. This mental reframing destroys doubt because you understand that most of your fears are not based on reality. The 10th brutal truth is that fear and doubt are tools used by others to control you. The untouchable person knows that fear is often weaponized by others to make you doubt yourself, to keep you in line, and to limit your potential. Whether it's through social pressure, manipulation, or intimidation, fear is used as a tool of control. The untouchable person doesn't allow fear to be used against them. They recognize it as a tactic and refuse to let it affect their decisions. By rejecting the power of fear, they destroy the doubt others try to instill in them, and they maintain their autonomy and strength. Number 3, the power of strategic action and relentless focus to destroy doubt forever. You must take strategic, deliberate action and focus relentlessly on your objectives. Doubt is born in the gaps between intention and action. When you hesitate, when you fail to act with purpose, doubt creeps in. Machiavelli understood that those who wield power are those who move with certainty, who act with clarity, and who know exactly what steps they need to take to achieve their goals. The first rule is that action is the antidote to doubt. The more you act, the less room there is for doubt. Doubt thrives in uncertainty and inaction, and the best way to eliminate it is by making progress, no matter how small. The untouchable person takes action even when they don't feel ready, even when fear and uncertainty try to hold them back. Every step you take towards your goal diminishes the power of doubt, and each decision you make builds the confidence you need to continue forward. The second brutal truth is that consistent, focused action creates momentum. Momentum is the most powerful force when it comes to eliminating doubt. When you take action consistently, you begin to build a rhythm that propels you forward. Doubt fades when you create momentum, because with each step, the next one becomes easier. Focus on your goal, and every action you take will push you closer to success, making it harder for doubt to take root in your mind. The third rule is that do not wait for the perfect moment. There is no such thing. Doubt is fed by indecision and waiting for the right conditions. The untouchable person knows that there is no perfect time to act, so they create their own opportunity. They do not wait for circumstances to align perfectly. Instead, they act in spite of imperfections. This mentality prevents doubt from taking hold, because they are not relying on external conditions but on their own ability to adapt and move forward. The more you act despite imperfection, the more confidence you gain in your ability to succeed. The fourth brutal truth is that focus is your greatest weapon against doubt. Doubt comes from distractions, from trying to focus on too many things at once, and from scattering your energy across different tasks. The untouchable person knows that focus is the key to mastering anything. When you focus your attention on one goal, one outcome, all doubts about your ability to achieve it dissolve. Focus gives you clarity, and that clarity removes uncertainty. By concentrating your energy on what truly matters, you sharpen your resolve, making doubt irrelevant in the face of determined action. The fifth rule is that you must learn to block out external noise. Doubt is often fueled by the opinions and judgments of others. The untouchable person has the ability to filter out distractions, ignoring those who would try to sow doubt or discourage them. They recognize that the opinions of others do not define their path. Instead, they remain focused on their own goals, taking action only in alignment with their vision. By blocking out external negativity, they create a mental space in which confidence thrives and doubt becomes irrelevant. The sixth brutal truth is that small, consistent wins build unshakable confidence. Doubt often comes from the fear of failure. But the untouchable person knows that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. By taking consistent action, even in small increments, you build confidence over time. Each small win reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed, and with each success, doubt is chipped away. This is the foundation of unshakable confidence. Success is not built on grand victories alone, but on consistent, relentless progress. The seventh rule is that fear of failure should never dictate your actions. The untouchable person understands that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace as a stepping stone to success. Fear of failure creates hesitation, and hesitation fuels doubt. By accepting that failure is inevitable at times, you take away its power to instill fear. The untouchable person fails forward, learning from each setback and using it as fuel for greater action. When you stop fearing failure, you stop fearing doubt, and instead, you see both as opportunities for growth. The eighth brutal truth is that visualization is a tool to manifest success. Before taking action, the untouchable person visualizes their success in vivid detail. Visualization trains the mind to focus on the end goal, and it helps eliminate doubt by creating a mental picture of success. When you can see yourself succeeding in your mind, it becomes easier to take the necessary steps to make that vision a reality. Visualization makes the goal more tangible and removes uncertainty, helping to push through doubt when the time comes to act. The ninth rule is that you must act, even when you don't feel ready. Doubt thrives in moments of hesitation, and the longer you wait for the perfect time to act, the stronger doubt becomes. The untouchable person does not wait for the perfect conditions. They act with what they have at the moment. Action, even imperfect action, is far more powerful than waiting because it breaks the cycle of doubt. By consistently taking action, despite not feeling fully prepared, you teach yourself to trust in your ability to adapt, and doubt starts to fade away. The 10th brutal truth is that you must make bold decisions. Doubt thrives in the shadows of indecision, and the longer you hesitate, the greater its hold over you becomes. The untouchable person makes decisions boldly and sticks to them. When you make decisions with confidence and certainty, you set the course for your success, and doubt loses its grip. Bold decisions may be risky, but they are always better than waiting for the perfect moment. The key to destroying doubt is to act boldly and with purpose, without second-guessing yourself at every step. Number 4, the mastery of perception and the illusion of control. To completely destroy doubt forever, you must learn the art of perception and the power of controlling how others view you. Machiavelli understood that perception shapes reality, and that by mastering perception, you can manipulate how others think about you, your goals, and your ability to succeed. When you control perception, you take away the power of doubt, because others will begin to believe in your ability before you even act. The first rule is that perception is the lens through which others view you, and you must shape that lens to your advantage. Doubt arises when others perceive you as unsure or weak. The untouchable person knows that by presenting themselves as confident, capable, and in control, they eliminate the chance of others doubting their potential. Confidence, even if initially perceived as an illusion, creates a sense of certainty in others, which then influences their behavior toward you. Control the perception others have of you, and you control the level of respect, authority, and influence you have. The second brutal truth is that how others see you influences how they treat you. People will treat you based on what they perceive about your capabilities, intentions, and strength. When others perceive you as untouchable, they are less likely to challenge you, manipulate you, or undermine you. The untouchable person intentionally cultivates this image, allowing them to act freely without the weight of doubt from others. By shaping how others perceive your power, you diminish any doubt about your position in the hierarchy, making you harder to undermine. The third rule is that you must use the power of mystery to your advantage. Machiavelli knew that the unknown is far more powerful than the known. The more mysterious you are, the more people feel drawn to you, trying to decipher your thoughts, motivations, and next steps. This air of mystery shields you from doubt, because when others cannot fully understand your intentions or actions, they are reluctant to challenge you. People prefer certainty, and when you remain elusive, they are forced to assume that your intentions are powerful and calculated. This perception alone makes you untouchable, leaving no room for doubt in their minds. The fourth brutal truth is that control the narrative around you. The untouchable person knows that perception can be shaped through stories, and by controlling the narrative, you control how people view your actions and decisions. When others hear the story of your success, your strength, or your resilience, they are less likely to doubt your abilities. Create a narrative where you are always the hero, where you overcome obstacles with ease, and where setbacks only serve to make you stronger. When people hear this narrative, doubt disappears, because they see you as unstoppable. The fifth rule is that make your success seem inevitable. Doubt thrives in uncertainty, and when others see your success as uncertain, doubt starts to creep in. The untouchable person, however, projects an image of inevitability. They make their victories seem like a natural consequence of their actions, not a matter of chance. By presenting yourself as someone whose success is bound to happen, you eliminate any doubt that might exist. When others perceive you as destined for success, they begin to see you as a force they cannot stop, and doubt fades into the background. The sixth brutal truth is that never let your weaknesses show. Doubt thrives on weakness, and the untouchable person knows that by hiding their vulnerabilities, they control how others see them. By presenting yourself as unshakable, strong, and capable, you remove the opportunity for others to doubt your abilities. The untouchable person carefully manages how much they reveal about their internal struggles, making sure that only their strength and resilience are visible. When others see no weaknesses, they see you as invincible, and doubt no longer has room to grow. The seventh rule is that use others' perceptions of you to fuel your power. The untouchable person understands that people believe what they want to believe. They understand the psychology of others and use it to shape their image. When you present yourself as someone with purpose and certainty, others will be drawn to you, and they will support you without question. Their belief in your power only serves to make you stronger, because it feeds your confidence and forces them to align with your vision. When others believe in you, doubt about your ability to succeed fades completely. The eighth brutal truth is that by presenting yourself as calm and collected, you make doubt seem like the problem of others, not you. When you act with composure, even in the face of adversity, you project confidence and power. Others, seeing your calmness, will start to perceive you as a leader, someone who is not shaken by external circumstances. By showing that doubt does not affect you, you force others to doubt themselves instead, as they will begin to question why they are uncertain about your success. The ninth rule is that control how others perceive your failure. Everyone fails at some point, but how others perceive your failures can either destroy you or propel you forward. The untouchable person turns failure into a stepping stone. They show others that failure is merely a temporary setback on the road to success, never something that defines them. By reframing failure as a lesson, they prevent doubt from taking hold, because others see it as part of the inevitable rise to greatness, not as evidence of weakness. The 10th brutal truth is that appear unbothered by the judgments of others. The untouchable person understands that people will always judge, criticize, or attempt to undermine them. But by remaining indifferent to these judgments, they ensure that doubt never affects them. When you appear unaffected by the opinions of others, you send a clear message that you cannot be shaken. This indifference to criticism builds an aura of untouchability, and the more others see you as unaffected, the less they doubt your strength and ability. Number 5, the psychological power of consistency and discipline. To destroy doubt forever, you must cultivate consistency and discipline in every aspect of your life. Machiavelli understood that true power comes not from occasional acts of brilliance, but from the ability to perform consistently. Doubt thrives in inconsistency, as people begin to question whether you have the capacity or stability to succeed. By consistently delivering, showing up, and sticking to your principles, you eliminate doubt, not only in the eyes of others, but in your own mind as well. The first rule is that consistency builds trust, and trust destroys doubt. Doubt is often born from uncertainty about your intentions, your abilities, or your decisions. When you are consistent in your actions, you show others that you are reliable, dependable, and committed. The untouchable person is always seen following through on their word. They don't make promises they can't keep, and they always deliver on their commitments. This consistency in behavior eradicates doubt, as others begin to see you as a force that cannot be swayed by circumstances or emotions. The second brutal truth is that discipline is the backbone of confidence. Doubt often arises when you lack control over yourself, your actions, and your decisions. The untouchable person practices discipline daily, knowing that small, consistent efforts compound over time to create massive results. Discipline means you control your time, your energy, and your focus. And when you demonstrate this control, you destroy the seeds of doubt that often arise from lack of preparation or unpredictability. When you are disciplined, there is no room for uncertainty about your intentions or your ability to achieve your goals. The third rule is that your consistency makes others believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. Doubt is born from inner insecurity, but when you keep showing up no matter what, others begin to place their faith in you. The untouchable person becomes a symbol of reliability. When others see that you never falter, that you are always moving forward, they stop questioning your potential. By being consistently present, productive, and focused, you create a sense of inevitability that dispels doubt, both in yourself and in others. The fourth brutal truth is that discipline isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. Perfection is a myth that fuels doubt, as it creates an unrealistic expectation that will only lead to disappointment. The untouchable person understands that discipline is about staying the course, even when things don't go perfectly. Failure doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger. By staying disciplined and continuing to take action despite setbacks, you develop resilience, and with it, you eliminate any doubts about your ability to reach your goals. The more you persevere, the more doubt is silenced, because others begin to see that failure does not stop you, it only fuels your success. The fifth rule is that consistency reinforces your identity. Doubt often emerges when your identity is unclear, or when others question who you are or what you stand for. The untouchable person is consistent in their principles and actions, which strengthens their sense of self. When you act in alignment with your values, goals, and mission, you build a strong, unshakable identity. This clarity and self-identity makes doubt irrelevant, because when you know who you are and what you stand for, others can't question your purpose. By consistently living in line with your values, you create an image of power and certainty, eliminating doubt from your life. The sixth brutal truth is that consistency removes the element of surprise from failure. When you consistently act and produce results, failure becomes a temporary roadblock, not a permanent setback. Doubt arises when we don't know what's coming next, when success seems uncertain or unpredictable. The untouchable person thrives in this environment because their consistency in action shows that failure is just a part of the process. When failure becomes predictable, so does success, and doubt disappears when you understand that failure is not the end, but a step toward mastery. The seventh rule is that discipline builds mental toughness. Doubt often creeps in when you feel mentally weak or unprepared to face challenges. Discipline, however, builds resilience, and mental toughness allows you to persevere in the face of difficulty. The untouchable person does not shy away from challenges. They face them head-on because they have trained themselves to handle adversity. By disciplining your mind to overcome obstacles, you remove the power of doubt, because you know that no matter what comes your way, you will always find a way to push through. The eighth brutal truth is that small, consistent actions lead to extraordinary results. Doubt is often born from the fear that your efforts aren't making a difference. The untouchable person knows that every small step counts, and they focus on the process, not the immediate outcome. By making consistent progress, they build momentum that eventually leads to massive success. These small, consistent actions destroy doubt, because they prove to you and to others that progress is being made, even if it's invisible in the short term. The ninth rule is that consistency breeds habit, and habits breed confidence. The untouchable person knows that successful habits lead to success. By making discipline and consistency part of your daily routine, you don't have to rely on motivation or willpower to take action. Habits take over and move you forward automatically, leaving little room for doubt. When you consistently practice successful habits, doubt fades because you trust in the process and the systems you've built to achieve your goals. The 10th brutal truth is that discipline is the key to sustained success. Doubt is born from the fear of failure and the fear of not being able to maintain success over time. The untouchable person knows that without discipline, success is fleeting. Discipline allows you to sustain your efforts even when the initial excitement or motivation fades. By staying disciplined day in and day out, you ensure that success is not a one-time achievement, but a continuous process. This consistency ensures that doubt never takes hold, because you know that every day, no matter how challenging, brings you closer to your ultimate success. Number 6, the art of detachment and emotional control. To truly destroy doubt forever, you must master emotional detachment and learn to control your emotions. Doubt is often a result of emotional turbulence. When you are ruled by your emotions, you are more likely to question your decisions, your abilities, and your goals. Machiavelli's wisdom teaches us that emotional control is one of the most powerful tools in eliminating doubt, because it allows you to make decisions based on logic, strategy, and clarity, not on temporary feelings. The first rule is that detachment from outcomes is the key to eliminating doubt. Doubt often arises when you tie your self-worth or success to a specific outcome. When you attach too much emotion to the result of your actions, you create uncertainty because you are uncertain about the future. The untouchable person knows that they cannot control the outcome of every situation. What they can control is their effort, their strategy, and their reaction. By detaching your self-worth from external results, you remove the emotional weight of failure and success, and doubt no longer has power over you. The second brutal truth is that emotions are not facts. Doubt thrives when you let your emotions cloud your judgment. When you feel anxious, uncertain, or fearful, your mind starts to question your ability and your decisions. The untouchable person understands that emotions are temporary, and they do not allow their feelings to dictate their actions. Instead of reacting impulsively to your emotions, you observe them, acknowledge them, and then move forward with the same focus and clarity you would have without them. This emotional control makes you unshakable, because you know that emotions are not facts. They are just feelings that pass with time. The third rule is that you must detach from the opinions of others. Doubt is often a product of seeking external validation. When you rely on others' approval to define your worth, you give away control over your confidence. The untouchable person does not seek validation from others. Instead, they validate themselves, knowing that their worth is not determined by the opinions or judgments of others. When you detach from seeking approval, you stop second-guessing yourself based on what others think. This detachment from external opinions is a powerful shield against doubt, because you are no longer seeking to please others. The fourth brutal truth is that you must learn to control your reactions. Doubt often arises when you react impulsively to challenges, failures, or setbacks. The untouchable person never reacts emotionally to events. They respond strategically. When faced with obstacles, they take a step back, assess the situation logically, and then decide on the best course of action. By controlling your reactions, you stay calm, composed, and in control. And this mindset eliminates doubt because you are always thinking clearly, no matter the circumstances. The fifth rule is that disengage from negative emotions before they can take hold. The untouchable person recognizes negative emotions, such as anger, fear, or frustration, as soon as they arise, and they take immediate action to detach from them. They do not allow negative emotions to linger. Instead of letting feelings of doubt, fear, or anger build up and cloud their judgment, they practice techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or taking a brief walk to reset. This practice of disengaging from negativity prevents doubt from taking root because you stop it before it has a chance to affect your decision-making process. The sixth brutal truth is that detachment creates emotional freedom. When you detach from your emotions, you free yourself from the control they have over you. Doubt is often linked to emotional attachment. When you are emotionally invested in an outcome or in how others perceive you, you give doubt the power to creep in. By practicing detachment, you become emotionally independent. You realize that your value is not tied to others' perceptions or to specific outcomes, and this creates an inner peace that destroys doubt. You are free to act, to take risks, and to make decisions without being held back by fear or uncertainty. The seventh rule is that embracing discomfort is a form of detachment. Many people avoid discomfort because it triggers negative emotions, such as anxiety or doubt. The untouchable person, however, embraces discomfort as a source of growth. By choosing discomfort over ease, they prove to themselves that they can endure anything, and this mental toughness eliminates doubt. When you detach from the need for comfort, you develop resilience and strength, and doubt has no place in your mind. The eighth brutal truth is that you must learn to respond, not react. The difference between a response and a reaction is that a reaction is impulsive, driven by emotion, while a response is thoughtful and measured. The untouchable person never reacts impulsively. They always take the time to assess their options, weigh their responses, and choose the best course of action. This ability to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally eliminates doubt, because your decisions are always based on logic and strategy, not fear or uncertainty. The ninth rule is that detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means control. Doubt is often fueled by emotional attachment, where you care too much about an outcome. By practicing detachment, you care deeply about your goals and actions, but you detach from the need to control the outcome. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop allowing the outcome to dictate your peace of mind. When you have control over your emotional responses and your attachment to outcomes, doubt loses its grip because you no longer tie your happiness or success to the result. The 10th brutal truth is that emotional control is the key to strategic action. When you let your emotions control you, you act impulsively and unpredictably, which breeds doubt. The untouchable person controls their emotions, allowing them to make decisions based on what is best for their long-term goals, not on how they feel in the moment. This emotional control allows you to act strategically, to stay calm in high-pressure situations, and to always move toward your objectives with confidence and clarity.